So, welcome to another episode of This Week in R, presented by the Hong Kong R User Group. And I'm a member of the Hong Kong R User Group, and I'm Chainsaw. And today is the 8th of March, which is we usually have the new episode in Monday, but because it's quite busy in the weekend and also early in this week, so this week is a little bit late. But this week we didn't have a lot of news. I don't know why. Last week we have a lot of news, but this week we didn't have a lot of news. So this irregularity can making a program like this very difficult to make. But anyway, I will show you some latest development in R in the past week. Okay, this is our Facebook page, and actually last night we have the Hong Kong R User Group have the machine learning for beginners course, the first class. So, and Connie has taken some picture of that course, and we have that course every 2 weeks. And later, probably I will try to make the video or try to make the material available to all of you. But again, later, not now. I think the first class is interesting. I hope that the students have learned something. And in the first lesson, I have teach how to use the tidyverse to do data manipulation. And something that is not our community news is about the news about R in general. Last week, the latest version of R has been released, which is the 3.3.3, and it's called Another Can You. And I think this is just a maintenance release, and it didn't have a lot of feature change. So, and it should be the last release in the 3.3 series. So the next release, if there is no, as said by the Cran, if there is no major bug in the 3.3.3, this one will be the last in the series, and the next version will be 3.4. And the Cran said that it will be released in later this year, probably in the fourth quarter of 2017. And the next news is about a conference, which is the user conference, which is the annual conference of R. And currently they're still accepting abstract. So if you want to present in the user conference in Belgium, so the date should be in the early July. So if you want to present in the conference, you can submit the abstract to them now. And apart from the call for abstract, they also call now they are accepting application for scholarship. And the first scholarship, okay, this one is for submitting the abstract. So if you want to talk or give a lightning talk or the poster session, just submit an abstract from the website. And the next one is the scholarship that I've mentioned. The first one is the Young Academics Scholarship. So if you're a young academics, you can apply for this scholarship to attend the conference. And also another scholarship is diversity scholarship. So if you are traditionally underrepresented individuals, you can apply for this one, and they will subsidize some of your traveling and also any expenses related to attending the user conference. And finally, this is a new website by Jenny Byans. Jenny Byans, there's no S. Jenny Byans, and he basically making one of her course using Git and GitHub for using R available online, and the website is happygitwithr.com. And I think it is a Git. It is a Git book, and it tells you how to use Git and GitHub for R programmer. So if you want to learn more about how to use Git, you can check out this new website. Okay, we didn't have the tips, and also we didn't have a demo this week. But I will reuse some of the educational material that I have recorded for the machine learning for beginners course, which is how to use the basics of R. So you can check it out now. Okay, this is a very quick introduction to the basic of R, and mind you, it's really quick, and actually you don't need to know everything in this part, but there is something that you need to know, and also something that if you want to know more, you should Google for it. You may not get it for the first time, but there's something that you need to get it for the first time. Okay, the first thing is R by itself is powerful, but in order to make it even more powerful or easy to use, you need to install some external libraries. And there are only at the moment there is only one or two packages that you need to install. The first package is the code that written by the others, and you can use those code so that you don't need to write it by yourself, and those code usually make your life easier. And so you need to install those code or package, and there are two ways for you to install a package. And the package that you need to install right now is called a tidyverse. Okay, there are two ways to install it using RStudio. The first way is to use the tools menu here, and then select install packages, and then type in the package that you need to install. Is called tidyverse, and then just say tidyverse and then install it. So it will install it, and you need to have a working internet, and so that it will download the package that you need and then install it for you. Okay, the second way is to use our code, and you should familiarize yourself how to do it. So we will use a function called install.packages, and then open paren, and then type in the package that you want to install. Let's say tidyverse. So in R, most of the thing there's only two distinction of the thing in R. One is this is a very simple general picture of what R is. There is data, and also another thing is functions. Okay, function is for working with something. Data is data. Okay, so you have some data and then you want to process it, so you should use a function. So a function is usually a function name and then parentheses, and then the parentheses have something called the argument, the data that you want to supply to a function for it to work on. So in this case, we want to install a package using a function called install packages, and the data is the package that you want to install. And in this case, we use single quote, or you can use double quote in this case. I want to install a package called tidyverse, and so type it here and then just say run. It will run that code and then install the package for you. And you can click the run here, or if you're using a Mac, you can put the cursor in that line of code and then press Command Return, or in a Windows it should be Control Enter, and it will send that code to the from the source here, and then send it to the console, and it will get installed. Okay, so you can install another one. For example, you need to install a package called Rio. You can just say install.package and then Rio. It will download the package and get it installed. If it installed correctly, so you can load that package using require tidyverse. This time you don't need to have the quote, be it double quote or single quote, but you can add that quote if you like, but it's not required. But in the install packages, it's required, and you can require Rio if you like, but it is not necessary. So if you install it correctly, and you can see something like that, loading require package tidyverse, and then loading all the other package inside bundle with tidyverse. Okay. If you cannot get it, meaning it is say error or something, email me. Okay. And so after you install the package that you need, these are the really introduction to R. And so now, as I've mentioned, there's data and also there's functions. And in R, most of the time, you will have a data structure that is called a data frame. Okay, so you can have a look at the iris. The iris is a built-in data set. And the data structure of that built-in data set is a data frame. Okay, so you can use a function called view to have a look at what iris look like, and then it will look like a table in Excel or something, and it basically, the column is a variable, okay, and each row is a case. So in this case, the iris is a data set for some flowers. Okay. Most of the time, the data is a data frame, and but the basic unit of our data in our data frame is a vector. So basically, a data frame is a collection of vector. So each column is a vector. But you may ask, what is a vector? So vector is a list of numbers. So for example, if you look at the sepal length, the first number is 5.1 and then 4.9 and then something like that. It's just a list of numbers. And you can have a look at the first number in that vector, so 5.1, and 2 is 4.5, 4.9, and so it's just ordered list of numbers. So you may have the first 5 if you like. So these are the first 5 numbers. So data frame is a collection of vector, and a vector is a collection of numbers or single number, a single item. It may not be numbers, it can be something else, and I will tell you what those something else is. So you can create your own vector, for example, using a function called C, meaning concatenate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1000, 100. So you have a vector of 6 numbers. Okay. You can give that vector a name by using the assignment operator. It resembles an arrow. For example, the number. Now we assign a vector 4321 to a name called numbers. So if you run number, it will tell you the content of that vector. So you may also create another vector which is called a male. So we have the true, false, which is not number. These are the Boolean values, or the true and false logical values. So you can also have a vector of logical values. And finally, we can have a vector of characters or tags, if you like. Okay, I will use tags here. So if you have some tags, you just use a double quote to throw it. So trainer. So we have another vector. It's called trainer. So trainer, we have Chris, trainsaw Chris, Jane, and Lucia. So you can have the first values from the trainer, which is trainsaw, and in order to get the third one, so how to do it? So if I want to get the third value, Jane, so it should be trainer 3 will get Jane. Okay. So, and now we have 3 vectors. We want to combine it into a data frame. So we will use a data.frame to with all 3 vector that we have. So now we have the trainers, which is the which now is a data frame. So we can also view that. So now we from the beginning we have 3 vectors of the same name. They have 4 items in it. So and then we can use the data.frame to combine those 3 vectors into a data frame called trainers, and then we can view it like a table. Now, okay. So using the same knowledge, we can use the $sign to extract a single vector from the data frame. Okay, and then we can use the square bracket to do something fancy. So for example, the 1 comma will get you the first row. Okay, and then for that one is comma 3. Okay, so comma 3 will get you the first column. Okay. So the first column is trainer. So when you do trainer square bracket comma 3, it will give you the third column. So this one is tricky. So I just run it. So it's 4 comma 3. So you may ask why Lucia. Okay. So if you look back at the data trainer, so the first number 4 is the 4th row, and the second number, comma 3, meaning the 3rd column. So we will get Lucia. So you may not get it by the first time, but try to run it multiple times until you know what is going on. Okay. And then functions. So a function with inputs or argument and then give you something back, which is the output. And most of the time it will give you output, but in the body of the function it describes the relationship between the input and the output. So for example, I have a function called mean. Okay, by looking at the name, you guess it calculates the mean, meaning the average. So it's a built-in function. So if you want to know more about what is the function mean doing, you can use question mark mean, and then in that part it will show you the help file of that function. It calculates the arithmetic mean, and with the input x, the argument x, and then what that x is. It can be a date, it can be numerical or logical vectors, dates, time intervals, whatever. So we know that iris sepal length is a vector. We extract that vector from a data frame, so we can fit it into the mean, and it will calculate the mean values or the average of all these numbers. Similarly, you can also calculate the SD. Okay. You can define your own function as well, but for example that, and then this one will calculate the center or the Z values of the sepal length. Okay, it's just defining a function is something like that, and inside that function represented by these curly braces is how to do the transformation. For example, calculate the mean first, and then calculate the SD first, and then calculate the SD, and then for each value just minus the mean, and then divided by the SD, and then return that to you, and then it will give you something like that. Okay. One thing is that something that we have run that centering, and as you can see inside that function we have the mean x, right? We calculate that intermediate called mean x, but after you run that inside a function, it didn't exist anymore. So if you ls, we didn't have that intermediate. Okay, you need some time to digest and read some more on what is going on here. So the next thing is reading some data. So we will use a package called real. Actually, you don't need to use real, but it's much simpler to use it using the import function. For example, we have a data called Titanic, and which is a CSV file, and we read it in as a data frame called Titanic. So we can view that data frame, which is like this. So we have the passenger class, whether the passenger, actually it's a data set of all the passengers of Titanic. So passenger class, whether that passenger is survived, things like that. So I will introduce some more function for working with data frame. For example, n row is just counting how many rows are there, and then n col is number of column, so it's 14 column, and col names will give you the all the column names, and head will show you the first few row of the Titanic of the data frame, okay, and head Titanic will show you the first 6 row. Of course, you can use the view to look at the Titanic data set in table form. So confusing enough, we have another function, it's called table, okay, but it accepts vectors. For example, you want to look at the survived vector and see how many of the passenger die or survive. Okay, so we only have 500 passengers survive, and HO line of them is that. Okay, and this one count how many of them in the different passenger class. So 323 in first class, 3277 in second class, and so on. Similarly, we can calculate the age of the passengers, but this time it returns NA. So why? So if you look at the data, there are many NAs. NAs meaning not available, missing data. And if you have NAs in your data, the mean will give you NA. Okay, so this time we read the mean, the help file of mean again. So always read the help file of a function. So it will tell you how to deal with the anomalies like this. So mean, we have the default argument x, and then there is something more. So another argument is called na.rm, is meaning NA remove. I can tell you that. Just treat that I'm a naive R programmer. Okay, what is NARM? NARM is a logical value, indicate whether NA value should be stripped before the computational process. So by default it's false, meaning it will not remove all the NAs before doing the computation of mean. So because our data get some NAs in it, so we need to remove those NA before doing the computation. So we should add one more argument, which is NA remove, and this time it should be true. So if you're using RStudio, I hope that most of you are using, when you type it na.remove, it will tell you what it is. Okay, a logical value indicator. It's just extracted from the help file, and this time we change it to true and run it. Now we have the mean values of Titanics. So now you have some understanding of how to install our package, and what is a data frame. Data frame is a collection of vector. Vector is a collection of an ordered collection of numbers, logical values, or characters, or tags. Okay, and now you can operate on those vectors or data frame using some function have arguments, and it will return some values. Most of the time it will return some values. Some function will not return anything, but most of the function will have some return value. For example, mean, if the input is a vector, and it will return the mean values as single values. And SD is if the input argument is a vector, it will return the SD values, the standard deviation, single standard deviation value. You can define your own function using something like that, but you may not need to know that right now. And then you can read CSV file into R using import from real, and then you can operate on a data frame or on a vector using some functions. And one thing is, if you have a function that you want to consult the help file, you can use question mark, the function name. Okay, this is a process that the programmer call it RTFM, read the F menu. So you need to do with the find menu. So you need to consult the help file very frequently as a beginner of R. So you may find it complicated, but in the first lesson we will introduce how to work with the data more efficiently using a suite called the dprior, which is bundle with the tidy words.